And welcome back to the hot stage. We are talking the WRC title fight going into the last 3 rounds. We've had round number 11, and OJ has taken a 2-point lead over Elvin Evans. Rovanperä, the retiring Rovanperä, is still very much in it within 20 points. Tanak, maybe not so much, but it's not over for Tanak, and he's got a few plans we'll talk about as well. So, this is also the event winners. OJ's won 5, Evans 2, Rovanperä 2. Tanak is the only one this year that has won for Hyundai. What an absolutely disappointing year Hyundai's having. And obviously Solberg winning that one. Is he going to be Rovanperä's replacement? We'll probably do another video on that sometime this week. So there are basically our event winners. OJ, yeah, probably favourite for the title by the bookies, but don't discount Evans or Rovanperä or Tanak. And that's the thing. So before we get to Tanak, let's talk about Toyota, shall we? The WRC team they're very close to the team constructors, if you will, championship. And Latvala, the Toyota team boss, has given his drivers free rein. As you know, Toyota are going to have the opportunity to secure that manufacturer's title. It's almost kind of like McLaren in Formula 1. It's pretty much inevitable, like Thanos from the Avengers. So Hyundai's arch-rival chances in the championship fight are, well, theoretical, it says. The Toyota leads the manufacturer standings by, and it's 125 points. A whopping, a gargantuan 125 points. If Toyota manages to maintain a lead of more than 120, so they have to have probably the worst weekend in their history of rally in the Central European Rally. So if they manage to maintain a lead of more than 120 points after the Central European Rally, the Japanese manufacturer is going to secure its 5th consecutive manufacturer's title. Even if Hyundai are able to close the gap to postpone their celebrations, it's surely only a matter of time. In practice, all of Toyota's point-scoring cars would have to retire from the rallies in both Japan at the beginning of November and Saudi Arabia a couple of weeks later. Gonna happen? Probably not. Never say never, though. So, Toyota is currently second in overall manufacturers' championships table with 8 titles. They're level with Citroën. This season's crown would lift them to within just one title of the famous Lancia make. And Latvala said, after good results in South America, we are in a very good position going into the Central European Rally. We will need a good result if we want to clinch the manufacturer. Well, no, you don't. You don't need a good result. Stop talking rubbish. But he said they will need a result, at the very least, to get that manufacturer's championship at their first opportunity. But he says, but at the same time, and this is where it comes in, our drivers don't need to feel pressure from that side and can focus on their fight for the driver's title, which is very tight. Naturally, that fight for the driver's title is going to be like, yeah, naturally going to make them win the constructors. He predicts another challenging round in Central Europe. The varying weather conditions and differences in grip will once again present difficulties for the drivers. He said, we've seen in previous editions that this can be a very difficult rally, especially with the autumnal weather and driving in 3 different countries where the character of the roads differ in each one. That's one of the reasons why we love this rally. The grip level is changing. There are a lot of cuts which can be muddy, and the mornings especially can be cold. As you probably know, in Europe, if you're living, it's autumn turning into winter time. Mistakes can happen easily in these conditions, which we know. And as we know, OJ held that driver's title lead from Elvin Evans, and Kalle Rovanperä trails the leader by 21 points. My mistake. He said, Seb, Elvin and Kalle all still have good chances. Good chances? It's almost a dead cert, isn't it? For the title, but none of them can really afford a non-finish. No, I think one non-finish from anyone could potentially mean disaster. For Taka, this is a good chance to get a good feeling on the asphalt before Rally Japan, the most important one of the year for him. Yes, I think at the moment for Taka, every rally is important for him. I think the fact that might save his career is the fact that Rovanperä has retired. Sammy, meanwhile, has been building his confidence and performance well lately, and he can also be good in asphalt, so I'm sure a good strong result could be possible too. It's 18 special stages covering over 300 kilometres. The event kicks off with a shakedown on Thursday. It's currently Sunday. But now, that's the Toyota thing. They've got nothing to lose, really. We're not sure who's going to be the driver, but Hyundai can absolutely focus on Tanak, and Tanak is choosing an older spec Hyundai for Central Europe. The team's best hopes, arguably only hope, for the Drivers' Championship. He reckons an older car An older car, as in Monte Carlo old. Yeah, a Monte spec Hyundai i20 Rally 1. Hyundai previously announced that Tanak would be delisted from scoring manufacturer points, giving him far more options over components than his rivals. I said, I think at the last rally preview, they need to put all their eggs in the Tanak basket. They're very unlikely, obviously, to win the Constructors. This may be the only crown they're potentially going to get back. So the 2019 champion, he's going to use an i20 with the same specs as used at the season opening Monte Carlo Rally, effectively, which is a 2024 car minus the hybrid. Neuville and Formo, meanwhile, are going to both run the up-to-date 2025 car, which features here new damper struts for the upcoming Powered Asphalt rallies in Central Europe and Japan. But what? Tanak? Not the most recent Hyundai? Well, at the finish of Rally Chile, Neuville told Dirtfish that Hyundai's tarmac test would be focused on development work rather than fine-tuning the setups. Hyundai has now indicated that both Neuville and Formo are going to be focusing on evolving the technical package of the car for the rest of the season and beyond. Tanak, meanwhile, having been able to back-to-back test both the 24 and that 25 car, has obviously chosen the 2024 car. So it's not as insane as some people think, but Formo had previously expressed a desire to also run that older car. Now, Dirtfish asked Hyundai technical director if Tanak was the clear priority, and he said at the start of Central Europe, yes. I mean, we figured that's going to be. He's a big priority. He is still in the fight for the championship, as in the Drivers' Championship. So Terry is still too, but yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, we never know what can happen in Central Europe. To be fair, you never know what can happen in Rally. But for Central Europe is our best chance to be in the fight for the drivers. Tanak's primary motivation with choosing the older car was stability of platform. No, he knows that 24 spec car. He worked on it well. He nearly won the title last year in that car. And he said for Ott, he compared the two cars. After he used the Monte Carlo 25 spec as a reference, he said there is still some work to do on the 25 car. The Canarias car to make a good car on the slippery condition, something that we like to get in Europe. That didn't make any sense to my head, did it? So, he's got the Monte Carlo Spec 25 car as a reference. He said there is still some work to do on the 25 car, and that's the Rally Idea Canarias car when they updated everything for Hyundai. He prefers to use the Monte 25 reference to be able to just concentrate on the tyres. Tyres have been a massive thing this year, and know where he can. It's going to be his main focus. The tyre choice and the tyre combination is going to be very important. It's difficult and takes a lot of time to adjust the setup, and then you can do the tyre work. So it may well be that Tanak knows how to set up this car more than the 25 car, which has seemingly been quite difficult for the Hyundai drivers to get. We've had days, for example, in the last couple of rallies where Formo has been leading, going, I think, into at the end of Friday. And then the next day, it's just gone completely wrong. You don't really get that for Hyundai. But there we go. Anyway, that's it. Speak to you soon. Thank you very much. And above all else, stay safe.